we're going to make our split cotter for here. And I'd originally said that I wasn't going to use split cotters. I'm going to use split cotters where it's appropriate on this machine, I think. And this is one of the places. There's some places where it's not going to be appropriate, but this will probably be an advantage. The downside to it is with the boss that I cast in here to keep from breaking through, it's actually not as deep as I would like it to be, but we'll deal with what we've got. So what I've done is I've taken my brass from my split cotter and I set it up in a 6-sided 5C collet holder. A couple of reasons for doing this. One is if I need to go back to the lathe, say to shorten this up or something to get my split cotter to fit right over the shaft, I can do that. Plus I've got it indexed up here in a collet block so that I can set it in the mill table to cut my slot. Now, in a perfect world, I would have installed my brass before I bored it. I didn't do that, and I'm okay with that. We can index it up this way and make it fit. Now, there are places, like I say, the split cutter is not going to be appropriate. And one of the places that it's not going to be appropriate to have that is going to be on the vertical shaft, because with the cuts in it, I think over time a split cotter would seat itself into those keys and would start to bind. So we're going to use an actual clamp block there, like the original design. So anyway, I've already set this up, made sure it fit right. I beveled the end to fit down in the bottom. And I've already kind of marked this out. So what I've done is just set it up to where it will slide in here like yay. I kind of measured my length and everything. So I'm going to take it from here and I've marked where the center of this split cotter should be, or approximately where it should be. I would prefer to err to the outside and then have to shorten it up rather than have it too far out and not have it seat in all the way. So that's all final fit thing. I've got it marked out. I've got the boring head set up in the mill, and I'm just going to start slowly cutting notches, and there again we'll index it up to where it sits back in the same place, and we'll just advance it in until we get a nice fit. We're going to index right on the bottom of the vise there. Probably should put a shop apron on here, but that's all right. So we're going to just pretty much set this by eyeball. And just so we get it right here, this is going to be up in the top of the vise when we set it up every time. Let's see what that looks like here. Okay, I'm going to go do a little trial fit on this and see. I'm not going to move the camera over there, but all I'm going to do is take it over, stick it in there, and see what it looks like. We'll make adjustments until we get it right. There's the way our little cuts look. It'll focus. And we'll deburr that and try it out. That's about halfway there probably. Okay, so we've got that cut. So while we're here and while we're still set up in the collet block, I'm going to go ahead and do a cut for the alignment pins in the top of the split cotter. So we just shifted it to the other side of the vise. We've got a little narrow keyway cutter. We're going to do one cut down it, and then we're going to raise it a little bit and do another cut here. Let's see, let's get us set at a decent speed here. Now, while it would be nice to have a little bit wider keyway cutter to cut those, that will work just fine, I'm sure. And we'll have to deburr this, of course. There's our keyway. There's our cutout. Have to deburr that keyway. But now we can put a pin in there. We'll clean that up. All right. So here's our part, deburred, all that good stuff. Here's our little slot in the top. Hopefully this focuses up the way it's supposed to, right in there. Now you see my line here, that's about where the casting ends, just short of that. I just took a Sharpie and marked it once it was seated in there. Hopefully that will leave just enough space that that keyway will not be visible, so it's not going to be a real major point for dirt or crap to get in there. Not a big issue if it is, but just one of those little niceties is hopefully right. There's our cutout for a split cotter at the bottom, and it's going to sit in there just like this. We'll install pins in the top to hold alignment on those cotters, and then our shaft will slide all the way past them, yet it locks it in. Once they're fitted, why, that will be perfect, 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 or as perfect as it's going to get here. So that'll take care of that split cotter in there. Now that's all the farther I'm going to take it for right now. I'm probably going to thread this. We're probably going to be a 3/8 size, and then a fine thread, of course. And I'll probably wait to fit this down until I actually have a ball handle and everything else before we split this and do all that good stuff. So there'll be a little fitting on it. We'll go ahead and we can install our pins, our alignment pins in the top to hold things in alignment that way. And then decide on what size studs we're going to use and everything. I guess I really don't have to wait for ball handles to do that, but I will have to make a final decision on what thread size we're going to use, and it's going to be universal. There's going to be probably the 2 standard sizes like was on the standard size Quorn. Stepping it up here, I believe the larger ball handles that we made for the original Quorn are going to be the same size we use for the smaller handles here, and then we'll have to redraw the larger handles, 33% bigger. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave this for right now. I've got that much of it done. I'm happy with that, I think. I may go ahead at some point and drill and thread these, and then what I'll probably do is we'll probably drill and tap these, put a stud in, and then have the other end of the stud fitting down, and that's what our ball handle will lock down on. So the stud will be permanently affixed in here rather than on the standard Quorn. They've got cutouts for them so that you can slide them in and they lock in place, the bolts themselves. So the stud will probably be integral with the back half of that split cotter. I don't anticipate ever having to change it or any issues there. That will do away with any clearance on the head. What I was originally going to do was machine these out with a square pocket, so they'd have a square-headed bolt, very similar to what the split cutters are on the Atlas machines. That's a pretty good system because you can take your bolt and you can rotate it around to one of 4 positions, which will change the position of your handle slightly to align your handles better. This, I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. We'll fit it to a particular ball handle, and then we'll either face this side of the split cutter down to where it's just the right length to where we get the ball handle indexed, or else we may do a stainless collar on the outside, shorten these up and have just a collar that slides on there. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do there yet. But anyway, there's that much more of it done. Fits just right. So there we go. Hopefully you find that a little bit interesting. Comment suggestions, leave them in the comment section for me below, guys. And as always, thanks for taking the time to watch.